Hi, I'm Annabel Langbein and I'm stoked to announce my new online recipe series. I've developed it hand in hand with Sanford and Sons. It's called Catch to Cook and that's exactly what goes on. We're cooking with the freshest local seafood on offer and making some simple, delicious recipes for friends and family. I've got these gorgeous fresh mussels here and I'm thinking, time for some chowder. And you can tell that they are alive because they're closed, and it's really important when you're cooking any kind of shellfish that it's alive. So if they're open, sometimes they're just breathing and you can just give them a wee ping with your fingernail or run them under some cold water. And if they close, that means that they're alive. We need to wash them. Now the thing about mussels is that they're filter feeders and they filter about 2 litres of water a day. They grow on ropes. These ones came from the Coromandel. So this bit where they hang onto the rope is really tough. So you want to take it off, but I find it much easier to take off once they're cooked. They're going to cook really quickly. And the trick is to add just a little bit of either wine or water. Lid goes on. You want them on a really high heat. They'll probably take about 3 or 4 minutes. You just want to cook them until they've opened. So while those are cooking, I'm going to get started with my chowder base. So nice clean leeks, thinly slice them. When they're raw, they're quite strong and tangy. But as you cook them, they get very sweet. The trick is whenever you're making any kind of chowder or soup, you want to cook the leeks out before you add any of the other ingredients. So while the mussels are cooking, I'm going to cook the leeks, and you just want a lowish heat just to get them nice and tender. Butter. My mussels look like they're ready. So you can see that they're open, and take them out as they open. See, there's always a few right at the end that take a bit longer, but any that don't open, don't use them. Pretty excited to be out here on the Coromandel. We're harvesting mussels, and this is a male mussel because it's got the white creamy flesh, and the female ones are orange. In a 24-hour period, each mussel filters an enormous amount of water, so you have to grow them where the water is really, really clear and obviously very clean. As a result, if you overfish them in an area, then there's less food supply for them to be able to access. So there are certain areas all the way through here where there are farms and all dotted around this Coromandel coast, and everybody comes and they know which is their patch that they can pull up their ropes from. These lovely mussel juices are going to be so good in the chowder. They'll just give it lots of seafoody flavour. Add that into the leeks. Now for some potatoes. Just diced potato into here. Corn, and I'm just using some frozen corn here. Fresh thyme. It just gives such a great flavour to chowder. I'm going to put about a tablespoon in here. Lid on, and that's going to cook for about 10 minutes, just till the potatoes are tender. So while they finish cooking, I'm going to chop up the mussels. You take the mussels out of the shell, the beard comes out, and then this hinge here, the foot where it attaches, is always going to be tough, so you don't want to eat that either. Get rid of those shells. I always like to chop them up quite small. That way when you're eating the chowder, you get a bit of everything on the spoon. So now I can add my mussels. If you're adding the smoked mussels or any smoked fish, put that in now too. I've got some milk here and some corn flour. So it's really important that you thicken the chowder before you add all the milk, because there's a bit of acid in the potato and that can actually split the liquid in the chowder. As you can see, it's nice and creamy. I'm going to thin it down with a bit of milk. And the last thing we want to do is some parsley and some pepper. So a little squeeze of lemon juice right at the end just gives the soup a brightness, a freshness, a little clean finish. How good is that? Mussel and corn chowder, made in a flash. Just perfect for a simple winter lunch or a light supper. Don't forget to download this recipe and then you can use it over and over. Visit the Sanford and Sons website for this and many other recipes and lots of tips and inspiration.